I love my country. I love my country very much. And if you're a Republican, you love your country.
California also has a very hot race for the U.S. Senate between Bad Hair Babs, Barbara Boxer, and Carly Fiorina. That race is a one-point race. Barbara Boxer has a one-point And I predict that unless Carly Fiorina gets caught a couple of days before the election at a strip club with Bruce Hershenson, they'll be one on Republican.
Please vote. Please, go to the polls, do your thing, vote. It's very, very important.
The race is so close, and Barbara Boxer isn't used to having close races. She's decided to go and beat the drum that Barbara Boxer always beats. She's beating the drum of abortion, which is what she did against Matt Tong, what she did against Bruce Hershenson, and now she's doing it against Carly Fiorina. Well, I have some modest advice for Barbara Boxer. If she's looking to beat the drum about abortion, how about aborting the health care bill? She can even really indulge herself with this one. This is like a really late-term abortion. It's 7 months old, for God's sake.
In the Declaration of Independence, I believe in the Constitution, I believe in lower taxes, I believe in smaller government.
Polls show that a majority of Americans support the repeal of the health care bill, including, get this, 1 out of 4 Democrats support getting rid of the health care bill. In fact, the health care bill is so unpopular that when Ted Kennedy rolled a 7 up in Massachusetts, and the voters of Massachusetts had to pick his replacement, they picked a Republican in Massachusetts. Ted Kennedy was the author of the health care bill. I think Ted Kennedy is spinning so fast in his grave that he just spilled his vodka tonic. And this health care bill, we can't talk enough about how bad it is. Because not only is it going to restrict your freedom, restrict your choices as a consumer, it's also going to bankrupt the states because it's filled with unfunded mandates that are going to the states in the form of Medicaid, which here is Medi-Cal. And despite the fact that they say that this thing is all paid for, that's all BS. We're going to be paying for this health care bill 100 years after President Obama's presidential library goes up in Kenya. By the way, for the record, that was a joke. I think he was born in Hawaii, and I have proof, because they just elected a Republican congressman in the state of Hawaii. They know that.
I believe in freedom of individual choice, and I believe in secure borders and strong national defense.
In San Francisco, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is running for re-election. And the Republican opponent wants to debate her.
Time is money.
She said that she's not going to debate him, and I quote, this was the response, because time is money. You know, on Bill Maher's show, he does that segment called New Rules. I have a new rule suggestion for Bill Maher. You shouldn't be able to be the face of a movement if your face has no movement. Liberty! And all of the hot races are not just in California, they're all over the country. One of them is the Senate race in Delaware, which you know about. Christine O'Donnell is the Republican nominee, Tea Party favorite. She said some interesting things in her past. By the way, if now starts attacking her there and then calls her a bitch, they could be the National Organization of Witches. Bring up the broom. So I do have to admit, though, that of all the crazy things she said, she talked about experimentation and being a witch, and she talked about masturbation being evil, she talked about all kinds of crazy things. The one thing that the 2010 election may make me rethink was when she said that you can pray the gay away. Because if you look at how many Republican incumbents are losing, she might be right. Her opponent, though, has some skeletons in his closet. He once referred to himself as a bearded Marxist. This is Chris Coons. But he said that was long ago in his past, and he's changed since then. He shaved his beard.
Excuse me, can I ask you why you're a Republican?
Things are bad.
Election day happens, and we see Democrats getting wiped out in Florida, in Pennsylvania, in West Virginia, in Wisconsin. And Democrats out here hear that. You want to talk about an enthusiasm gap, is what's going to happen is like what happened in 1980 when Jimmy Carter was running against Reagan, and every other Democrat just got wiped out running for office because Democrats just stayed home. That could be a real big problem for them. And I have a strong feeling that a lot of the Democrats on the East Coast are going to get wiped out. Do I think Barney Frank might lose? I hope somebody comes up to Barney Frank and throws some holy water on him and sends him back to Satan where he belongs. I don't know if he'll lose, but that's my option. Be more of herself, and she needs to go out and she needs to fight back harder because they're hitting her with hard stuff. And when someone hits you with a hammer, you take their arm off with a meat cleaver. And this woman who's making all of these allegations against her, this housekeeper, this Nikki Diaz, is saying the most horrible things about Meg, and Meg says, oh, I loved her like a member of the family. No, you don't say that. You say she's a tool who's inhaled too much pledge. You go up there for your one term and you get 4 years in office, and you go ahead and you fix the way that revenue comes in, you fix the way that we don't spend money on these stupid employee unions like we just turn the bank over to them every time.
I know.
People may hate you, but you get the job done. And politics is more about getting elected to office. It's about doing something when you're there. And if you get elected and you do something and everyone hates you, that's fine. But, you know, the Brits dumped Churchill after World War II. I mean, they used him for what he was useful for, then they got rid of him. If we put a Republican up there that gets the budget in order and gets the state from out from under the fiscal hole that we're in, and they get thrown out after 4 years, I'm in favor of that. I don't care. I mean, we just need the job done.
Right.
But you find that Democratic might lose this year? Well, Harry Reid is going to lose.
Yeah.
That's what's going on in the world. John Dingell, I think, is going to win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Russ Feingold.
Oh, he's definitely going to lose. Bill O'Reilly was 100% in what he said on The View. 100% right. So let's get back. A lot of things killed us on 9/11. And to say anything other than that is rewriting history.
That's right.
And I watched it multiple times because I was trying to make out what they were saying because there was so much screaming and so much yelling. And we really needed a translator to figure out what was going on. And unfortunately, I don't speak menopausese. As a teacher and as a student, I would give a holiday to Mussolini if it meant I didn't have to show up to work. Anyone else? All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, John Phillips. Yes, everybody.
My window won't help far from the street. I need it in the lawn. So we look at